Hello, this is Joanne Hewins with LoveToCreate.typepad.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I want to show you how I made this box and this matching card. This is part of the Stamping Around the World blog hop. We're a group that gets together and we release a group of tutorials every month, and then we also have a blog hop that complements that. So let's get started. I'm featuring this time the Daisy Lane bundle. It has this stamp set, and then it also has a medium daisy punch. Last year we came out with the large daisy punch. This year we have a smaller size, and I'm very excited about that. You can see it makes some really cute flowers. So let's get started. I'm going to make the box first, and then the card is very close to the box. I'll give you just a few hints for that in just a little bit. Let's go to our catalog. This is the Stampin' Up! Catalog, and at the beginning of the catalog it lists the bundles that we have, and I'm really using two bundles today. The first one is the Daisy Lane bundle, and you can see that it's featured on page 23 of the catalog. So let's turn over there, and here's the stamp set again. Here's a sample of something that you can make, and look at this decor piece, beautiful. And then the other bundle that we're going to use today is on the next page. It's the Parcels and Petals bundle. That can be found on page 27. And it's this stamp set and the dies that go with it. So let me bring in the dies so that you can see what they look like. And this is the die for the Perfect Parcel that goes along with the stamp set. So let's get started with the box. For the box, you're going to need to have two pieces cut from this framelit or die. And you're going to need paper that measures 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. So I'm going to bring in my paper and show you how I would cut that. If I put in my paper the long way, this is 6 1/4. So I'm going to cut down through there. And then 4 1/4 would be half of this. So if I cut my paper like this, I can get a whole box from that. You can see those will fit right on there. And then you've got this much left that you can get half of another box out of that. So each piece of paper would make 1 1/2 boxes. So let me put that away, and I'm going to go ahead and just bring in the two box pieces that I've already cut out. So here they are. Our next thing that we would need to do is to go over our score lines. So I'm going to bring in my bone folder and just, I folded some of that already, but you want to get down both sides of that, and then you have these little tags here. And then it also bends here. Now there's a couple of diagonal folds that you may not be able to see too well from where you are, but I'm just going to fold on those a little bit too to get those going. Alright, and we'll do the same thing with this other side. So all the way down the side, all the way down this way. Get these tags. And here, and then just fold in a little bit on those diagonals. There's one here. Okay, now I'm going to use glue to put this together. So let me bring in my glue, and I'm going to start off by just putting some glue on these two tags, and then I'm going to attach them to the box here. Now you're going to want to match the folds on those, and you're going to make sure that these dips are on the same end. So I'm just going to hold that for a few minutes and get that together. And then we're going to do the other flaps, and I'm just going to fold this in a little, and then we can just fold this over to kind of meet. You still want to get your folds lined up, and we'll just hold that for a few minutes. I have found that glue seems to be the easiest to work with. You just want to make sure it's really glued well before you move on. Okay, now this part with the little rounded dips on it is actually the bottom of the box. And this is a little bit tricky to get together. What I'm going to do is put some glue under this flap and some glue under this flap. And then kind of watch carefully. I'm going to push those ends in. I'm going to push these ends in. And then as I go down, these little flaps are going to line up with the sides. And after they do, I'm going to just push this down like this. And I'm just going to kind of hold that there. And then when that comes out, it just about pops together there. And there's your bottom of your box. Now for the top of the box, you're going to put those parts in like this. Oops. Put these parts in like this. Oops, I'm sorry. They're going to fold out. So it's going to fold like this. And then these pieces are going to tuck in to the side there. So they'll just tuck in, and that way you can open and close your box. Okay? So the opening, this is the opening, and then this is the bottom. Okay? Now, we're going to make a sleeve to go around our box, and for that I'm going to pull in a piece of Magnolia Lane paper, and this is cut at 3 by 7 3/4. Now I will have a link to my blog post, and that measurement will be in there. Also the measurement for where I'm going to score this piece of paper. I can give them to you now, but it will be linked to my blog post at the in the description. So I'm going to score that at 1 1/2, then 2 7/8, 5, and then 6 3/8. But as I said, that will be on my blog post. And then this is going to wrap around, so I'm going to bring in my snail and just put that down one side, and this is just going to wrap around. I'm going to put the piece here, and then just wrap it around. You probably don't want to lay that super tight, or you'll have a hard time getting it back onto the box. This one I'm almost afraid to take off because I'm afraid I won't be able to get it back on. Okay, so there's our belly band. And then I'm going to use, there it is, a piece of the Magnolia Lane ribbon. This comes in a combo pack with another pack of Mossy Meadow twine. And I'm just going to run this. I just put a little bit of a snail on there. And I'm going to run that around my box. So you just need enough so that it will fit around. And I believe I'm going to put a glue dot right under there to hold that in place a little bit better. Okay. And here's where we're going to make our flower. As I said, we're using the medium daisy punch. And I have already punched out 3 of these. And let's assemble our flower. So I'm going to take my bone folder and carefully I'm going to bend up the petals on all 3 of these. So there's 2. I really love how these little flowers turn out. So then I'm going to put some glue dots on the bottom of 2 of these. And I'm going to add this so that it's just a little helter-skelter there with this one. And then when I add this one, I'll close up those places, hopefully, that don't have anything. And there's our flower. We're going to be using these faceted gems for the center of the flower. So let me put that in there. And then I didn't pull it out, but we're going to be using the leaf punch for the leaves of our flower. And what I did after I punched these out of the old olive paper, now our box was out of mossy meadow. I'm not sure if I told you that or not. I'm just going to bend these leaves to just give them a little bit of dimension too. And then I'm just going to add them to the bottom with a glue dot. And then that is going to be added to the bow with more glue dots. And I think I want my leaves kind of up here at the top. So there is the flower and the bow, and now I want to make my tag. On this box, I made the tag using the stamp set Parcels and Petals. I used the background stamp here. I stamped off and used this, and then I used the birthday cheer to you all year for the tag. But for this one, I'm going to make the tag using the Daisy Lane stamp set. So we're going to use the word smile. So I already went ahead and stamped the tag and cut that out. I stamped it with the fern. There's the fern stamp in Old Olive, and I stamped it off 2 times and then stamped it on here. So now we're going to take, okay, hold on just a minute. For some reason I'm missing seeing my Old Olive stamp pad, so I'm just going to use the Mossy Meadow to give you an idea, and it will probably show up better anyway. So I'm going to ink up the word smile and put that in the middle of my tag. Alright, So there's that. And then we'll be adding the tag with dimensionals. So first of all, I've made a little bow from our linen thread. I'm going to roll up a glue dot and add that up here to the end, and then add this bow. And then on the back of that, we'll be putting dimensionals on. Actually, look, I had already stamped it. But that's okay. So I'm going to take those off and add that to my box, and it's all ready for me to fill it with something. So let's talk about the card and how that might be just a little bit different. So I'm going to pull in the card that we made, and you're going to start that with a card base of thick Whisper White, and 4 1/4 by 8 1/2. I do score that because this thick just folds better if it's scored, and then you're going to use your bone folder to burnish that fold. Okay, I'm using the same paper that I used to go around the box. This is cut at 3 3/4 by 5, and again the measurements are on my blog post, and that is linked in the description. And I'm going to go ahead and add this to the center of the card. Okay. And then I want to make a tag or a label for this, and you can see that I have used the stitched nested labels. So I've already cut one of them from this Magnolia Lane paper, and I think I used this one, and I'm going to go up a size to cut the white piece. But let me talk to you about that just a little bit. I'm going to move some of this out of the way, and I'm going to bring in my Big Shot, and I'm going to be cutting this from Whisper White. So I'm going to go ahead, and I have my regular plate with a thin adapter and a clear plate that's rather worn out, and I'm going to put the framelit down, the die down, and just run that through. Okay, and here's my nested label, stitched nested label. But when I add that to the panel here, I really want it close like that. See all that extra space right there? So I'm going to talk to you about how you can fix that. So I'm going to bring in the same label. I'm going to line it up so that the edges are the same, but I'm going to move it down this much so that that's going to be cut. So I'm going to lay this down. I'm going to tape it with some washi tape, and you can see that extra that's been pulled up. So it's going to be cutting off just a little bit of the end. So we'll run that through. And okay, it's cut off that much of it. So it's not a lot, but it's a little bit so that will fit a little bit better. In fact, I could have cut off just a little bit more. But I do like how that looks better than being a little bit longer. So let me add this. do my tag. And then this will be added to the card front with dimensionals. And let me pull this back in. Okay, and I'm going to put this over in the lower left-hand corner. Now, one thing I want to point out too, when I cut out this frame, I think I've got it leaning a little. When I cut out this frame, I tried to look at the stripes, and I tried to get them so that they're about in the same place here as they are down here. I think it just makes it look more symmetrical and just a little more pleasing to the eye. It's something you might not notice unless it's off. Okay? And then I'm not going to make the flower again because it's just exactly like we just made for the box right here. So I'm just going to leave that, but I'm going to talk to you about this tag, and we're going to make that. So I'm going to pull in some ink, and as I said, I've somehow misplaced my old olive pad, so I'm just going to pull in this Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to, in my white paper, and I'm going to ink this up, and I'm going to stamp it off, and stamp it off, and then stamp it on my paper. Okay, and I'm going to use it that way. And then I'll just leave that out. And then we're going to stamp it with this stamp, It's Your Time to Shine. But we're going to stamp it in 2 layers. So let me talk with you about how we're going to do that. I'm going to first start off with It's Your, here's the card right here, with the It's Your. So I'm going to take some tape, and I'm going to tape off Time to Shine. Okay, I'm going to cover that up with tape, and I'm going to ink up this stamp, and then I'm going to take off the tape and do the It's Your. Okay, and now I'm going to cover up the Time to Shine. Well, actually, what I need to do first is clean that, and okay, I'm not seeing my cleaner here right now, so I'm just gonna, I may regret this, I'm just gonna clean that off as good as I think I can. And I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to ink up the stamp. And now I'm going to go over here and cover. So this is backwards from what I did the other one. I'm going to go over here and cover this other. And I'm hopefully going to get this Time to Shine underneath the It's Your. Ah, pretty good. And so then you would just cut that out with this piece from the Perfect Parcels. So it would be like that. And you'll just run that through your Big Shot and add it to the card, the same as you did the box. So there you go. That's all I'm going to show you about the card, because I think it's pretty much explanatory about how to finish that. Here's your card, and here's your box featuring the Daisy Lane bundle, the Daisy Lane stamp set, and the medium punch. If you need any of these supplies, you can purchase those from me. If you go to my blog, lovetocreate.typepad.com, there is a link there. There's also a link in the description of this video to my online store. So I hope you will visit. Any purchase made in the U.S., it has to be in the U.S. from me, of 50 or more will get the Stamping Around the World tutorial. I'll email that to you for free. So thank you so much for joining me today, and happy stamping. Bye-bye.